Foundation laid for the temple. Easy raw 2-4, 485. 8 in the second year after their arrival at the house of God. Allah at Jerusalem in the second month. Zerubbabel, son of Sheep, Litiel and Jeshua, son of Jodak, made a beginning together with the rest of their people, the priests and the Levites and all who had come to Jerusalem from the captivity. They appointed the Levites from 20 years old and upward to have the oversight of the work on the house of the Lord. 9 in Jeshua with his sons and his kin, and Kadmiel and his sons Benaniah and Hudaviah, along with the sons of Henadad, the Levites, the sons and kin, together took charge of the workers in the house of Allah God. 10 when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord, the priests and their vestments were stationed to praise the Lord with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals according to the directions of King David. David of Israel. 11 and they sang responsibly, praising and giving thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever towards Bani Israel. For he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever toward Israel. And all the people responded with a great shout when they praised the Lord, because the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid. 12 but many of the priests and Levites and heads of families, old people, who had seen the first house on its foundations, wept with a loud voice when they saw this house, though many shouted aloud for joy. 13 so that the people could not distinguish the sound of the joyful shout from the sound of the people's weeping. But the people shouted so loudly that the sound was heard far away. Resistance to rebuilding the temple. Resistance to rebuilding the temple. When the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the returned exiles were building a temple to the Lord, the God of Israel too, they approached Zerubbabel and the heads of families and said to them, let us build with you, for we worship your God Allah as you do, and we have been sacrificing to him ever since the days of King Easy AR-Hadon of Assyria, who brought us here. 3 but Zerubbabel, Jeshua, and the rest of the heads of families in Israel said to them, you shall have no part with us in building a house to our God, but we alone will build to the Lord, the God of Israel, as King Cyrus of Persia has commanded us. 4 that the people of the land discouraged the people of Judah and made them afraid to build. 5 and they bribed officials to frustrate their plan throughout the reign of King Cyrus of Persia and until the reign of Darius of Persia. KINGDARIUSOFPERSIA, King Cyrus of Persia, and until the reign of King Darius of Persia, rebuilding of Jerusalem opposed, rebuilding of Jerusalem opposed. Easy Ra 2-4, 6 in the reign of Ahasuerus. In his accession year, they wrote an accusation against inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem. 7 and in the days of Artaxerxes, Bishlam, and Mithridah, and Tabel, and the rest of their associates wrote to King Artaxerxes of Persia. The letter was written in Aramaic and translated. E8 Rehum, the royal deputy of Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to King Artaxerxes as follows. 9 then Rehum, the royal deputy